For my entire life, I've had a bad habit of going from one interest to another, getting super into a topic for only a few months at a time, before moving on to the next thing that piques my interest. As a kid, I always viewed this as a flaw. I felt frustrated that I couldn't focus on just one thing for a long span of time, but in adulthood, and especially as a YouTuber, I've found it to be a strength. I've also found that I tend to come back to these hyperfixations over time, with some being lifelong staples like Transformers. So if you click this video with the hope of hearing a nearly 30-year-old man yap about nerdy topics, you're in luck and you should probably subscribe because that's pretty much all I do here. What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the top 5 things I've been hyperfixated on this year. 2025 has been a great year for my interests, and this list is a nice mix of classics as well as some totally new topics for me. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Oh, and also I'll be playing Mega Bonk in the background for this video because I really like that game. Digimon has been a franchise I've been invested in since I was a kid. I absolutely love the concept of a digital world with digital monsters populating it, and I absolutely love the aesthetics of Digimon, from the super cute baby and rookie monsters to the insanely cool gothic and mechanical creatures that they digivolve into. Seriously, Digimon has produced some of my favorite monster designs ever, and this was a big year for Digimon thanks to the new game Time Stranger popping off. People who had never touched Digimon in their lives were playing that game. I recently bought Time Stranger and have only just started my playthrough, but it's a very slick game. And I love how they streamlined some of the elements from previous Digimon story games. I chose Patamon as my starter Digimon in case you were wondering. I'm excited to really get into this game more, and I'm going to push myself to actually finish it because I have such a bad habit of never finishing video games. Digimon also got a new anime this year, Digimon BeatBreak, which is about a future world where everyone uses these little eggs called Sapotama, which are basically like smartphones in this universe, but they're egg-shaped. The Sapotama run on an energy called E-Pulse, which comes directly from people using them. Sometimes these eggs get errors, causing them to create Digimon. Our main character, Tomoro Tenma, is overflowing with E-Pulse, and his E-Pulse also tends to corrupt Sapotamas, causing them to malfunction. And this basically makes his life hell because the entire world revolves around Sapotamas. Because people don't just use them, they follow the machine's advice on how to achieve an ideal life, with many people's goal being to live in the Shangri-La egg, which is basically just a separate city for rich people. Tomoro's E-Pulse breaks his Sapotama and gives birth to Geckomon, a funny little hyperactive lizard Digimon. I absolutely love this Digimon. I loved the colorful design before watching it, and Geckomon's personality is so fun. What's interesting is that in this universe, every Digimon is a reflection of their owner. So Geckomon in a lot of ways is a pure distillation of Tomoro's personality. And while Tomoro is a very closed-off person who pushes away his emotions, Geckomon is like a little kid, and every emotion it has is made very clear, be it hunger, anger, sadness, but mostly hunger. Both Tomoro and Geckomon love to eat, and in this universe, Digimon don't even need to eat human food, so Geckomon just eats for the love of the game. Digimon usually get their sustenance via E-Pulse. Tamers offer up their E-Pulse through their Sapotama, but rogue Digimon attack random people and steal their E-Pulse, leaving them in a comatose state called Cold Heart. Tomoro's brother is attacked by a Digimon and gets this disease, and Tomoro is about to meet the same fate, but he's saved by the Cleaners, who are a group of Digimon tamers that protect people from rogue Digimon. The Cleaners become Tomoro's new family, and he works with them while trying to figure out a way to cure his brother. I really like the vibe, animation, and new Digimon introduced in the show. It feels a bit more mature than other recent Digimon entries, and the animation is just stunning. I've seen some complaints on the show moving too slow, or not having that many evolution sequences, but I feel like these are kind of nothing burger critiques. The show is definitely moving slower, but each episode brought me so much joy, and I think the writing has been consistently great. Sometimes with these older franchises, it feels like fans just have boxes they want ticked off, rather than really absorbing the story that's being told. But anyway, it was an excellent year for Digimon, and I think Bandai is trying to keep the momentum going, as they've announced BeatBreak BeatBreak is getting an English dub, which is incredible because Digimon doesn't always get English dubs anymore. And they've got some fantastic talent working on the English version, which is going to start releasing on December 27th. That's so soon. I was expecting to at least wait a few months. It's great to know BeatBreak is already getting a dub, and I'll probably watch both versions, because I have spent most of my life watching Digimon in English. I think having a dub will be an amazing way to get new fans into the franchise off of Digimon Time Stranger. So yeah, it's been a great year for Digimon, though this was a short-lived hyperfixation for me. After I made my video on Digivolving a few months ago, I kind of just tapped out for the year, but Digimon is sort of a comfort food to me. I'm not always into it, but I can always go back to it when I need some badass monsters fighting each other. In case you don't know, one of my main video series, and the series that really kicked off my channel and gave me a following, is my Transformers that are not Transformers videos, where I cover transforming toys that are not associated with Transformers at all. In my 4th volume of this series, I covered a series that I've become smitten with, Metal Cardbot, which is a South Korean show and toy line. In the lore of the show, Metal Cardbots come to Earth after their planet blows up, Krypton style. So these robots are refugees trying to live on Earth. The main human character, June, comes into contact with the Metal Cardbot named Blue Cop after he finds a device called the Metal Breath, which signals him as the leader of Metal Cardbots based on an old prophecy. Blue Cop very much believes in this prophecy, so he and June work together to capture Metal Cardbots that are making trouble, or just having a hard time adjusting to Earth life. I like this show a lot. I was kind of put off by the human designs at first, but the actual robot action is really awesome. And I've grown to enjoy the other parts of the show as well. I originally watched the English dub of the show, which is just awful, but thankfully some fans have set up a website that adds English subtitles to the Korean YouTube uploads. I'll link that website in the description below, because man, watching the show with subtitles is so much better. The real highlight of this series is the toys. There have been 3 seasons with 3 toy lines so far. The first season featured very simple but incredibly solid toys. They remind me a lot of Unicron Trilogy era Transformers, with how chunky, ratchety, and simple they are. And they all have a gimmick where they come with a metal card that transforms into a weapon. For example, Blue Cop's metal card transforms into a huge gauntlet for him to wear. As the series has gone on, the toys have gotten a lot more advanced. The second season, Metal Cardbot S, features some absolutely incredible robot designs, including the somewhat viral Blast Train, a huge train metal cardbot with Wolverine claws, which is incredibly badass. And the newest series is Metal Cardbot W, which introduces a bunch of new metal cardbots with animal motifs. And just like season 2, the designs are incredible, but I'll be talking about that series a lot more in the next Transformers that are not Transformers video. Metal Cardbot has really climbed the ranks in terms of nerdy stuff I think about often, and I'm extremely excited that Agabus, the company currently behind BotCon, is bringing Metal Cardbot to the West. The first wave of toys from season 1 is available for pre-order right now, and I'm so excited for people to start getting their hands on them. I will say that you shouldn't expect Metal Cardbot to be hitting your Walmarts anytime soon. Shelf space is expensive, and this is an indie company we're talking about. But if you have a local toy shop, let them know about Metal Cardbot. I do think it would be amazing if they had a presence on Amazon though, just because people would end up discovering the toys much more easily. I got my first Metal Cardbot this year. It's a Chinese version of Blue Cop who has minor paint differences, and I also got a whole set of metal cards that transform into animal companions for each season 1 Metal Cardbot. These are also Chinese exclusive toys, and they're really cool. Finally, having a Blue Cop figure is so awesome and I love it. I will mention that an aspect of the toys that puts Transformers fans off is the eyes in vehicle mode, and the main complaint that I've seen is that they look too kiddie. And sure, there's obviously some Cars influence here, but honestly, I love that they have eyes in vehicle mode. I think it makes the toy expressive in both modes, and sets the show apart from Transformers in its own unique way. I've been preaching the good word of Metal Cardbot for a while now, and I'm so happy to see bigger Transformers YouTubers like Theo and That Toy Guy reviewing them. I think if you miss the creativity of the Unicron Trilogy era of Transformers, Metal Cardbot will really appeal to you. And I also encourage Transformers fans to actually engage with the show and lore. It's definitely a kids show, but the animation is excellent, and the characters themselves are interesting. I really like the idea of a Transformers kind of show that isn't solely focused on war, and Metal Cardbot delivers that in spades. 2025 is my first full year of being a YouTuber, and it's kind of been a wild ride. For context, in November of 2024, I quit my full-time job to do YouTube. Mostly because I knew I could make the same amount of money or more if I had more time to dedicate to the channel. This was a dumb decision. Not for the reasons you might think though, but because the office I worked at actually laid everyone off at the end of March this year, which meant I could have gone into my YouTube career with some severance in my pocket, but oh well, shit happens. Honestly, I am still glad I quit because YouTube has been my dream for a long time, and the feeling of relief after leaving that office for the last time is something I'll carry with me for probably the rest of my life. What YouTubers often tell you is that the job is consuming. You can easily fall into a trap of thinking about YouTube all day. Stats, comments, video ideation and creation, posts, member-only videos, blah blah blah. It's all so much to think about. And for me anyway, it kinda never stops. Which is why YouTube is number 3 on my list. Kind of against my own will. Don't get me wrong, this is not a traditionally difficult job in the least. And having worked a lot of different jobs in the past, I can easily say every single one of them was harder mentally and physically. But being self-employed is its own challenge, especially drawing the line between work and life. This has been a terrible year for me in that regard. It's funny because before really making it on the website, I watched a lot of YouTubers talk about their lives, and they all pretty much talk about this issue. Not that it dissuaded me from being a YouTube, no, never, and I'm sure it won't dissuade you either, but actually feeling what they were talking about has been interesting to say the least. And I'm not going to lie, my mental health was kind of in the dumps for a lot of the year. So my New Year's resolution is going to involve separating my free time and work time. And I've already started to do this a bit, but I'm going to try pretty hard in the new year to make this distinction. Though to be clear, this is not all negative. Being a YouTuber and having a community is cool as hell. I especially love my members only Discord community, which has grown a ton this year, and I've met so many awesome people through it. And I'm super proud of the chill and inclusive community I'm building. I'm also really proud of the videos I've made this year. I've been trying really hard to hone in my writing and narration style. I spend so much time writing. It's kind of my main job when you think about it. Narration has been an issue for me because it's just not something I'm used to, and I also struggle to say the most basic phrases sometimes. Like, my mouth literally will not speak the words on the page. I've thought about maybe taking a speech class or something, because I do think I have a slight lisp or something, which doesn't bother me in terms of how my voice sounds, but it can make reading my scripts a struggle. I think the video I'm most proud of this year is my Transformers Revenge of the Fallen review, which was a huge project for me, involving a bunch of other TF tubers. This video featured 12 other creators, and I think it came out really well. And it was genuinely a pleasure to work with creators I've looked up to like Dr. Lockdown and Kian Carlisle, as well as newer creators that are coming up at the same time as me kind of, Ron Bon Dujan and MRC. And god, MP Cons did the most amazing stop motion animated short for the video. I knew he did stop motion, but all I asked for him was just reviewing the toys himself. MP Cons went above and beyond for his section though, and that part still cracks me up to this day. So yeah, that's probably my favorite video of the year. Sorry if this section is boring, but I really couldn't see a way past talking about YouTube because it's been so important to me this past year. It was honestly kind of therapeutic to write this section and reflect on the past year. I'm deeply grateful to be in this position, and it's an honor to be able to make YouTube videos for people that just want to relax and forget about the real world for a bit. Whether you're new to the channel or have been here for a while, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I can't wait to drop new videos next year. Oh, and I should mention, I'll be switching up the way I do members only content. This year I started doing members only content called Toy Dives, where I talk about random toy lines in a very unscripted format. It was a fun series, but I kinda hit a wall with it. And honestly, I just don't enjoy recording them anymore. So from this video onward, instead of doing weekly toy dives, I'll be pairing each new public video with a bonus members video. For example, if you become a member or Patreon patron for $1, you can watch this bonus video where I cover a few more hyperfixations that didn't make the list, like Five Nights at Freddy's. Horror. Oh, Transformers, my beloved, what a year. If this is your introduction to my channel, Transformers is my bread and butter, mostly because I've been obsessed with the franchise since before I could remember, and it just comes naturally to me to talk about them. This year was kind of a quiet year for the franchise. We got a new kids cartoon cartoon Cyberworld, which is a show I enjoyed with a very mid toy line. My most recent video is about Cyberworld, and I gotta say the negativity in the comments made me pretty sad. I really do feel like this is a show that is going to get a lot more love in retrospect, kind of like how Cyberverse does now. We also got deep into the Age of the Primes toy line, with all but 2 primes left to be revealed. I really need to catch up. The prime I'm missing that I really want is Onyx Prime. I'll still grab all the deluxe guys if I see them, though with these new price hikes, I've been more and more apprehensive about buying new figures. Transformers seemingly cost more than ever right now, thanks to tariffs and probably a splash of corporate greed, but I'm sure you've heard your fair share of complaints regarding toy prices. The biggest Transformers highlight of this year for me had to be TFCon Chicago. I traveled up there with a fellow YouTuber that lives close to me, JCC2224. I had never really met this dude IRL, and we had only talked online to do collabs and set up the trip. But man, we hit it off and I had such an amazing weekend. Easily the highlight of 2025 for me. The con itself was also incredible. Being surrounded by so many other fans was mind-boggling. My entire life has kind of just been me interested in Transformers, so to meet not just one person but a whole convention full of people just like me was absolutely incredible. Not to mention I got to do a panel, which was crazy.
What's up, TFCon? Jake here, dumb as ever.
And I also met with so many fans, which was so cool. I was expecting to get recognized like once or twice, but I ran into like 20 to 30 people that knew me, and I was given several gifts, which was so amazing. I documented all of this in my vlog about the trip. That's easily one of my favorite videos of the year from a personal standpoint, and even though it didn't do that well numbers wise, it's a video I'm really glad I made because I can go back to it in the future. And with the BotCon announcing they're doing their next con in Chicago, it might be time for round 2 next year. I really have not been keeping track of the Transformers I bought this year, and I also sold a bunch of my collection to be able to go to TFCon, so all the stuff I have is jumbled together, and my shelves look nightmarish. I really need to clean up and organize my office again. Well, I'll go through some of my favorite pickups of the year, starting with the 86 Optimus. Just an incredible version of the most iconic Transformers character, and he is probably going to remain as my go-to Optimus for a very long time. I also picked up Animated Oil Slick, which was a toy that I always wanted as a kid, and I got him for like 18 bucks, which is a good price for an animated figure. Armada Smokescreen was one of my favorites from childhood, and I was so happy to get another copy this year. This dude has such a cool mini-con gimmick, and such a unique and cool design. Retro Sea Spray blew me away, bars. The mini-bots in general have been amazing, and I hope we get to see a new Warpath soon. The Last Night Megatron was an unexpectedly good toy. I got him for like 15 bucks and he's really awesome. I love the paint they gave him, and even though his arm articulation is somewhat limited, he's really able to just aura farm. The final toy I'm mentioning has to be Animated Blackout. This was a gift from one of my channel members, Pleco at TFCon. I could not believe I was holding it in my hands, and being gifted the toy after so many years of wanting it is crazy and pretty humbling. I really did not understand how many people liked and connected with my videos, and getting gifts like this and hearing people tell me how much they love my videos really gave me a new perspective on this whole YouTube thing. So again, for like the 100th time, thank you Pleco for this gift, and thank you to the Transformers community for accepting me and showing so much love. It really means a lot to me. Our final section is a brand new hyperfixation that has gripped me so hard. Tokusatsu, and specifically Kamen Rider. In case you don't know, Tokusatsu is a genre of Japanese filmmaking, often centered around practical special effects. 1954's Godzilla is considered the first Tokusatsu film, and the genre has become a Japanese staple since then. My interest lies mainly with the superhero part of Tokusatsu, and all year I've been watching Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Super Sentai. This section is specifically going to be about Kamen Rider, because I'll be talking about a bunch of Super Sentai shows in a future video, and I talk about Ultraman in my bonus video for members. Kamen Rider is what kicked off this hyperfixation anyway. After seeing several clips on Twitter, I decided I needed to watch the show called Kamen Rider Gavv. I went in with little to no knowledge of the franchise, and thanks to the GOAT Battle Up Saber for helping me understand the franchise early on. There's so much to learn, which is probably why I got so invested so quickly. Like I said, Kamen Rider Gavv was my first series, and I got hooked. It's about a half monster, half human human named Shoma. He has a device called a Gavv on his stomach, and whenever he eats treats, the Gavv generates little minions called Gochizos, and he can use these guys to transform into a superhero. Over the course of the show, 2 more writers join Shoma, and the show is about them stopping monsters from kidnapping humans, because the monsters want to turn humans into addictive dark treats to sell to other monsters in their world. It's a really amazing show, and I'm really glad it was my first Kamen Rider show. I'll actually be talking about Gavv much more next video, so I'll wrap it up here, but if you're even a little interested in what I'm talking about, I think Gavv is a super fun and well-written show to start with. Throughout the year, I've been watching quite a few Kamen Rider shows, one of them being Kamen Rider Gotchard, a show about a high school student named Hotaro, who is thrust into the world of alchemy when he's chosen to be Kamen Rider. A large sect of the fandom would have you believe this is a bad show, and a large sect of the fandom would be wrong. I think Gotchard is great. It's got really strong emotional moments, some great characters, and some incredibly badass rider forms. It is definitely a little bit cheesier than the other Rider series, but that's what I love about Kamen Rider. These shows will be so corny and cheesy, but the actors deliver the stories with so much emotion, and I can't help but feel emotionally invested into these melodramatic, silly stories. They're like soap operas with superheroes, and I love it. I really enjoy Gotchard, and I'm sure I'll talk about it more in the future when I finish the series. I've also been watching Kamen Rider Geats, which is a show about an ongoing battle royale. The Kamen Rider that wins each game gets to change the world to fit their desires. The show is full of twists and turns, and my favorite gimmick is Geats outfoxing everyone, revealing his insane plans to win each match as if he's Light Yagami. Geats is like the most popular Kamen Rider show for some reason. I actually really don't understand why, because to me it's good, but not like a masterpiece. I've been watching it weekly with my channel members on Discord, and while I generally enjoy it, I also am not frothing at the mouth to know what's next like I am with other shows. Though don't get me wrong, the show can be hype as hell, and there's a reveal mid-season involving Kamen Rider Nago that made my jaw drop. I've also been watching Kamen Rider Kuuga, which is one of the most beloved series in the franchise thanks to its lovable protagonist, Yusuke Godai. While I think the show is incredible, my Gen Z ass definitely struggles with the slower pace compared to newer shows. Watching modern Kamen Rider is like eating candy, and watching older Kamen Rider is like enjoying a delicious yet tough steak. So I've only watched about 20 episodes of Kuuga, but I absolutely intend to finish the show in 2026. If you're down for a slower show, I do think Kuuga is great. And it's got an insane amount of death, which surprised me. Like, no joke, the monsters have probably killed well over 1,000 humans by episode 20. Often on screen too, though there isn't really gore or anything. Another recent Kamen Rider series I've been watching is Kamen Rider Ryuki, which is another battle royale series, and it's also a bit older. Closer to Kuuga in terms of age, but also feels a lot faster than Kuuga, and I really like all the different Kamen Rider designs. Kamen Rider Knight is so cool. I'm only 12-ish episodes in, but I'm loving Ryuki, and it's another series that will likely get a main channel video on it. Finally, I've also been watching the current series Kamen Rider Zeztz, which has been absolutely amazing. It's the first Kamen Rider to come out in Japan and the West at pretty much the same time. It's streaming on YouTube for free, by the way, and I've been loving it. The show has a secret agent motif, which is really fun, and it's been getting darker and darker as it continues. The main character, Baku, is an unlucky goofball in real life, but in his dreams he's the suave secret agent called Seven. His job is to infiltrate the dreams of others and destroy nightmares, which if left unchecked can cause destruction in the real world. Zeztz has been a delight, and I'm also excited to see where the show goes. As for next year, I'd like to watch X-Aid, Build, and Saber, because I've heard great things about them, but I've also told myself I have to finish one of my current shows before starting another one. Kamen Rider and Tokusatsu overall has been such a big hyperfixation for me, and I'm really glad I got into it this year. Definitely expect more videos on these big 3 Tokusatsu, as well as the wider world of Tokusatsu on my channel. Even if you're not interested in watching the shows, hopefully my videos on them will at least be entertaining for you. 2025 has been a great year, and I'm so excited to see what 2026 has in store for the channel and my hyperfixations. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to see more of my hyperfixations for this year, consider becoming a channel member or patron. It only costs $1 and you get exclusive videos with every new upload, as well as access to my super chill Discord server. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.